Hey, I'm Michael Smith, CEO of Bluefield Realty Group, and today we're talking about the financing contingency, which is a major component of most real estate contracts, and there are 5 key points we're going to go over. So the first point is what we call the financing period. Now, in the standard South Carolina real estate contract, the financing contingency actually lasts all the way until the day of closing. So anytime during the process, if for whatever reason your loan gets denied, you're still covered under the financing period. So the second point is what we call the financing effort. The contract specifically states that the buyer must make timely and good faith effort to apply for and obtain financing while refraining from contrary actions. So basically this means the buyer has to apply for their loan in a reasonable amount of time and make every effort to ensure they continue to qualify for that financing. And they can't intentionally do something that would make them no longer qualify during the contract period. So the third key point is what we call the financing disclosure. In the contract, it states that the buyer is to inform the seller throughout the process any pertinent information related to financing, and the contract also authorizes the buyer's lender to disclose pertinent information as well. So basically, everyone has to stay in the loop. The fourth key point of the financing contingency is the deadline to apply. So it's a fill in the blank, and in the contract, if it says the buyer is to apply for the loan within 3 days, but they wait until the 5th day to submit their loan application, they're technically in breach of contract. And last but not least, the 5th key point of the financing contingency is the loan type. So for example, when you submit your offer, you're going to indicate which loan program the buyer is going to apply for. So if your contract says the buyer is going to use conventional financing, you can't just switch to FHA partway through the process without getting the seller's permission. All right, so what does this all mean? As I mentioned before, the majority of real estate contracts do have a financing contingency, which simply means in order to buy the house, the buyer is going to need to get a loan. This is great because if you're the buyer, this gives you a lot of protection. If for whatever reason your loan does not get approved, you have a way to get out of the contract without losing your deposit. However, there are some key things built into that contingency that the buyer has to abide by throughout the process to ensure that contingency remains in effect. So make sure to read the contract and really understand what you're getting yourself into. If you have any questions at all about the financing contingency or anything else real estate related, feel free to reach out to us by phone or email, and we'll have one of our great agents answer any questions you might have. At Bluefield Realty Group, we strive to be your guide through the real estate process, minimizing stress and maximizing results. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.